The push for answers about what led to the deadly attack on our consulate in Benghazi getting intense on Meet the Press over the weekend. Senator John McCain turning the tables on host David Gregory, asking some pointed questions of his own while explaining his claim of a cover-up by the Obama administration. Listen.
We've had two movies about getting bin Laden, and we don't even know who the people were who were evacuated from the consulate the next day after the attack. So there are many, many questions, and we have had a massive cover-up on the part of
But a massive cover-up of what? I mean,
now,
Susan Rice, wait a minute, Susan Rice said there was a lot of confusion.
Do you care, David?
I'm asking you, Senator, what is the cover-up of what?
I'm asking you, do you care? I'm asking you, do you care whether 4 Americans died? The reasons for that, and shouldn't people be held accountable for the fact that 4 Americans died?
You said there's a cover-up.
A very dear man.
I'm just asking you, a cover-up of what?
Of the information concerning the deaths of 4 brave Americans. The information has not been forthcoming. You can obviously believe that it has. I know that it hasn't, and I'll be glad to send you a list of the questions that have not been answered, including what did the president do and who did he talk to the night of the attack on Benghazi?
Let's talk about it with our News Watch panel today. Jim Pinkerton, a contributing editor and writer for the American Conservative magazine. Alan Colmes is host of the Alan Colmes radio show and author of Thank the Liberals for Saving America. David Gregory, it would seem, Jim, does not believe that there is any kind of a cover-up. Is that too strong a word?
Well, I mean, he's certainly saying that to Senator McCain. I think he was certainly defending the Obama administration, which is kind of par for the course for NBC. And McCain is a feisty guy, isn't he? Here he is in his mid to late 70s and still getting up every Sunday to be on some show somewhere and slugging away.
Alan, if 4 of our diplomats and protective personnel had been killed during the Bush administration, wouldn't there be all sorts of a screaming fest from the media demanding information about why?
I'm not sure we would have this kind of... Look, we had during the Bush administration, we had deaths at numerous embassies and consulates after 9/11. And I don't recall this ever happening post 9/11 when deaths and attacks took place during the Bush administration. So the answer is no. The answer is no. And furthermore, what's wrong with David Gregory trying to get an answer from John McCain about what exactly is the cover-up? That doesn't mean he's defending the Obama administration. McCain to then accuse Gregory of not caring about the death of 4 Americans was totally out of line.
Well, I don't know. It does seem that the media is not terribly concerned about the death of the first ambassador in 30 years.
John, to say that people aren't concerned about the death of an ambassador simply because it seems like the right wing is playing gotcha here. They're trying to switch-vote Barack Obama and the administration. They're holding up the confirmation of Chuck Hagel, who had nothing to do with Benghazi, over this issue. They look like a bunch of Keystone cops in the Congress by doing this. It's ridiculous.
All right, Jim, do you want to take that one on? I mean, they've been holding up the Chuck Hagel nomination because they want answers about Benghazi.
What does Chuck Hagel have to do with it?
And they wouldn't get them, and this has been really clear. I think, again, Senator McCain said, look, Hagel's probably going to get confirmed, but first they have to answer these questions about Benghazi. That's sort of a fair trade.
Hagel has nothing to do with Benghazi.
It's more than the administration would have done otherwise.
What does Hagel have to do with Benghazi?
Well, again, it's the only leverage they have, Alan. It's pretty standard tactics by Congress and both parties to go to the administration. If you want this, you got to give us that. That's sort of horse trading.
They're connecting dots that don't exist.
Then there's another Meet the Press question, and that has to do with the use of Chris Matthews as a political commentator on that program. Take a look at a couple examples.
I watched him in those hearings, and I saw Joe McCarthy. I saw the way he was prosecuting the case, the way he was putting up evidence, innuendo, guilt by association. It's really become an undemocratic system with the way the Boehners had to play this because of his right wing.
It's all the Republicans' fault.
It is.
He was talking in the first part there about Texas Senator Ted Cruz. What do you think about that, Al? What about Chris Matthews?
Why is it not okay to have Chris Matthews, but it's okay to have Carly Fiorina? So it's okay to have a conservative, but it's not okay to have somebody on the other side. If you have one, you have the other. Isn't that fair and balanced?
Well, look, the problem with what Matthews said there was that he compared Senator Cruz to the late Senator Joe McCarthy. Joe McCarthy accused his opponents of being members of the Soviet secret police and spy apparatus and so on. I don't think that Cruz is accusing anybody of being on the payroll of the Iranian government. There's a huge difference, and if Chris Matthews can't see that. He needs to, you know.
I think it's a little bit of hyperbole, but
the
the point is, if you're going to make accusations, have the facts to back it up. Don't say I have the list or say exactly what the backup is for the accusations you're making.
Did I just hear you say the word hyperbole on the part of Matthews? I agree with you, Alan.
Media coverage